Hello my friend, welcome to Trending Viral Recaps. In this video I will recap a thriller about a family on a tropical holiday who discover that the secluded beach where they are relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the story recap, and if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe now. The Kappa family are on their way to an extravagant resort for a family vacation. The father, Guy, and the mother, Priska, and their two kids, 8-year-old Maddox and 6-year-old Trent. After settling in, Trent soon befriends a little boy named Idlip, and they do such things as ask the other resort guests what their names and professions are. In turn, Idlip shows Trent a secret code to decipher messages. Meanwhile, Guy and Priska are on a trip with their children, their last one before they separate with a divorce. Priska is also suffering from a stomach tumor. Over breakfast, a middle-aged doctor named Charles is sitting with his younger vain wife Crystal, daughter Cara, and his mother Agnes. Nearby, a woman named Patricia is having an epileptic seizure, and he offers to help her. Her husband Jarin is also present and helps out too. Trent also sees Idlip as they make plans to hang out that day. But the resort manager makes them leave the area. The Kappas, plus Charles and his family, all board a van that takes them to a private beach. There, Maddox recognizes a rapper, mid-sized sedan, real name Brendan Smith, who was earlier seen with a female companion who went skinny dipping. The kids all play together, while the adults lie down on the sand. The girls find old dolls buried in the sand, left behind by other children. Trent feels incredibly guilt-ridden when he comes to the body of Brendan's companion. It looks like they drowned. The adults look over the body, but Brendan is suffering from nosebleeds and stunned too. Charles suspects that Brendan hurt the woman who went swimming and never came back. He insists, however, that she just went for a swim. Not long after, Agnes starts gasping as she falls down to her knees. Jarin and Patricia arrive at the beach, but the people that brought them were already gone. The kids also start to experience something different. Brendan explains to the adults that the woman he was with had multiple sclerosis while he has hemophilia, which explains his constant nosebleeds. Jarin and Patricia talk to Trent and Maddox, who now have suddenly aged to pre-teenagers, along with Cara. There are many people who struggle to leave the beach by going through the rocks near the boundary of the beach. Every time they try to leave, they feel a headache just before blacking out and end up back on the beach. Another strange thing is when Charles attacks Brendan with a knife. The deep cut heals within seconds. Quickly after, Brendan realized that the woman he was with had already fully decomposed to only bones, which means there is something about this beach that alters time. Suddenly, Priska begins suffering from the tumor in her stomach. All the adults help her by feeling around the tumor, which they described was as big as a golf ball. They quickly perform surgery to remove the tumor, which has grown to the size of a pumpkin. The cut in Priska's stomach heals rapidly after the procedure. Trent and Cara have now aged to teenagers looking more like young adults. What's really strange is Cara has become 5 months pregnant only minutes after having sex. Everyone prepares for the birth, but the baby dies quickly due to lack of attention. The other adults are showing signs of aging, but Crystal is affected by the process personally than the others. Charles becomes schizophrenic and leads him to stabbing Brendan to death. They try coming up with another way to escape and take his weapon away. Sensing they cannot go through the rocks, Jarin attempts to swim to find a way out. While all of this is going on, Trent and Maddox find a notebook left by previous visitors which had the names and medical conditions of the people. They also observe people across the way who are observing them. Maddox has a conversation with Priska. The two discuss if Priska is going to leave Guy. Priska can't seem to catch a break. Recently she's been seeing someone and Maddox is not happy about it. Priska tries to defend herself, but Maddox isn't hearing it. She realizes she needs help and goes out to the beach to search for an escape. Eventually, she finds Jarin's body, which seems to have drowned. When she sees his body, Patricia suffers a fatal seizure. Kara is desperate now and she tries to climb the rocks to make it to the top, hoping to find a way out. As she gets near to the top, she blacks out and falls to her death. Trent is devastated. It is now nighttime. Charles has become fully unhinged while Crystal is also losing her mind at her rapid aging and declining physical state. Guy is also losing his eyesight, and Priska is noticeably grayer. Guy and Priska chat about the man Priska was seeing. Guy admits he knew about him and wished he did more and was better to keep their marriage alive. Charles then starts to attack Guy and Priska, while Trent and Maddox are attacked by Crystal when they try to look at her. She follows them into the cave and her body becomes twisted and contorted to horrible angles before she dies there. Priska then stabs Charles with a rusty knife and causes an infection which spreads through his body and kills him. The Kappa's family gather around the fire. The now old Guy is having trouble speaking and remembering things, but he manages to admit to Priska that he loves her dearly just as he dies. Priska stands up momentarily, but blacks out and dies by the side of Guy while their kids mourn their parents. Now it's morning and Trent and Maddox are in their late 50s. Trent brings up a code that Idlib gave him, which he deciphered and figured out means, "My uncle doesn't like the coral." The siblings spot a coral reef nearby and realized it must be their way out. The two swim out there, but Maddox's clothing gets stuck on the coral. When the siblings don't surface, Theo, the van driver, reports to his boss and says that all members of Trial 73 have perished. When Theo drives back to the resort and to a lab area, it is then revealed that the resort is a front for a medical research team named Warren that lures people with medical conditions to the beach in order to perform clinical trials for life-saving drugs given to them in the cocktails served upon arriving. They know the beach has supernatural powers that speed up the aging process, so they reduce the trial to a day for better results. They cured Patricia's epilepsy, as she didn't have a seizure for 8 hours, which is the equivalent to 16 years on the beach. The resort manager and crew attempted to lure their newest victims until they were stopped by Trent and Maddox. They managed to free themselves from the coral and save the day. Trent finds a man he spoke to when he was still a kid, knowing the man is a police officer. He hands the man the journal found on the beach and carefully flips to a page which details names of missing people and their medical conditions. Idlib comes out and recognizes Trent even as an adult. Trent and Maddox expose the entire resort and their illegal shocking operation. The authorities arrive and arrest the resort staff. In the final scene, Trent and Maddox are flown out by helicopter to be with their aunt, who is similar in their now age as full-grown adults. Wow, what a crazy story. Can you imagine going to a beach for 8 hours and then that ages you 16 years? And that concludes the recap of this video. If you enjoyed this story recap and would like more, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave us a comment on what movie you would like us to recap next. Thanks for watching Trending Viral Recaps. Have a great day.